This project is a cooperation between Aalborg University, ID-Kliniken, Sygehus Vendsyssel, and Patient at Home, with the goal of evaluating serious games for assessment and rehabilitation of hemispatial neglect in patients with acquired brain injuries. Hemispatial neglect is a condition wherein the patient ignores visual stimuli on one side of their visual field, despite no sensory disabilities. For this condition, the most commonly ignored side is on the left. To help this condition, we have developed two tablet games inspired by existing neuropsychological tests. One is called the trail-making test, and the other inspired by a series of tests known as cancellation tests. The goal of gamifying these is to guide and motivate the patients to engage with them, whether they be at an institution or at home. The first game, inspired by the trail-making test, adds optional assistive tools such as visual cues and vocal guidance to help the player progress through difficult levels. The second game, inspired by the Whack-A-Mole arcade game, has the player hit targets as they appear across the screen, while rewarding high performance with audio-visual feedback. To evaluate the assessment and treatment properties of these games, as well as user acceptance, we ran a randomized controlled trial with 52 participants. All participants who are recruited from the Neurorehabilitation Center in Brønderslev, Denmark, are periodically tested on their cognitive abilities. The test group was encouraged to play 3 daily sessions with both games, in addition to regular rehabilitation. Among the tests used in the trial are the line cancellation test, the line bisection test, and the letter cancellation test. Shown here are results for patient 21, one of the most effective participants, at the beginning of the trial. You can see the impairment on the left in each test. In the line cancellation test on the left, only lines on the right-hand side are crossed out. In the line bisection test on the top right, the participant believes the center of the line to be very far to the right. In the letter cancellation, on the bottom right, none of the target letters E and R are crossed out on the left. Here we see participant 21 playing the games at the beginning of the trial. Notice the difficulty in finding targets on the left side of the screen.
Så nu kan de også komme herover i venstre side. Nu skal du holde øje med dem i begge sider. Ja. Så er midten igen her. Og midten.
The center of hit is a measurement concept from the neuropsychological cancellation tests. It is the gravitational center or average XY position of all hit targets. On the left we see an example line cancellation test from participant 21. The center of hit is represented by the red dot. Healthy participants would have a center of hit in the middle of the page, as exemplified by the green dot. On the right-hand side, we see the center of hits of the same participants' Whack-A-Mole game sessions. Each red dot represents the center of hit of around 100 hit targets during one session. Again, the center of hits are off to the right of the center, but we can see the participants' variable progress over time. In this graph, we see the same participants' Whack-A-Mole performance of hit targets in each session over the course of the trial. We split up the number of hit targets on the left-hand side as red dots and the ones hit on the right-hand side in blue. We have superimposed linear trend lines for each side, which show a gentle increase on both sides during the course of the trial. Overall, the participants were able to use the apps by themselves without intervention from clinical staff. We do see clear improvements in the participants' performance in both apps over the course of the trial, as to be expected from their overall rehabilitative progress. All participants found the apps beneficial for their rehabilitation, easy to use, and fun. Neglect patients found using the apps beneficial for their rehabilitation during the whole period of the trial. Currently, we cannot say whether Whack-A-Mole or the trail-making test actually improved the participants' rehabilitative progress. Compared to their rehabilitation program, the time spent with the apps was only in the order of 10 to 15% for those participants that made high use of the apps.